Hello, YouTube. Tammy is a yarn crafter, kind of coming out with hodgepodge type video today for you. So hope you guys don't mind. I start off with hope everyone had a great weekend. I know mine was very productive. Hubby and I had to do a quick run to Michael's. I had some yarn I had to pick up. I will be showing that off in a moment. And then from there, I went to the camper, did a bit of yard work that needed to be done. You know, that fun spring cleaning stuff. So we got some of that done. Still too soft and wet ground to cut the grass yet. But we're thinking probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, it should be, go time. All the summer chores for the year. So anyways, start off with, I finally started working with this yarn that I'd gotten for my birthday. Now, this yarn is, I did write down so I had notes, 80% acrylic and 20% wool. Now, I am still very in love with this yarn, but I will definitely let you know, crocheting wise, it does not frog. If you're a little bit into your project, you're better off just breaking the yarn and starting over. I had to frog it a couple times because I wasn't really sure what I was going to make with this yarn originally. And I started a couple different patterns and didn't like it or whatever. I thought, I'm not going to have enough yarn, and who knows when I'd get, more. So I decided, we'll just frog it and leave it till next time. Yeah, no. This yarn does not frog very well. And just a reminder what it looked like, as I called it, my bougie yarn, because it was so soft and squishy and fluffy and very, very light. Like the drape of it, this yarn works really well for a garment, as long as you can wear wool. Like I said, it's only 20% and you don't feel it. It's so soft. And like I don't feel the wool in it. You can tell there is wool though because of all the halo stuff. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but there is some halo going on there. So I thought, okay, what am I going to make with this yarn? Because my hand's itching, got to use something new because I've never had it before and stuff. So I decided, okay, well, I've already got Project 1 done for Crafting Kitty Creator Spotlight. I already have Project 2 on the go, which you will be seeing in a moment. So I thought, you know what, let's find something for project number 3, because I always try to enter 3 per month. And I decided it's good for a wearable, me being a plus size. I know I don't have enough to really make a top. I could have probably made something very lacy, but to be honest with you, like even for what I've gotten done, it is so light. If I make a top, I feel like I'm walking around naked. I hate to say it, but I would feel like literally naked because this yarn is so light. So I decided, I'm going to make a very beautiful, colorful work, corner to corner shawl. And here it is. Dropped it. Don't want to drop my loop. Okay, good. So here it is. I'm about, I wouldn't say maybe 1/3 of the way, but it's very pretty, very light and airy. It'll make for a beautiful like summer shawl. Like if you're going, say, to a wedding or something, or some kind of function, you got a black dress on, this shawl would work really well, this colorway. I kind of get the vibe of mermaid with the colorway. Originally, I thought kind of unicorn, but now that I've worked it up, I get more of a mermaid vibe from it, but it would look really beautiful over a black dress. But like I said, it's very light. As you can see, very, very drapey. I am using a size, I'm not even sure what size hook. 4.5 crochet, just a standard metal hook. Nothing special about it. The band, I dropped it on the floor. Sorry, guys. I think the band calls for, actually, I don't think the band actually says a hook size. It says needle size. I believe it was size 4s. Now, I've not knit it with this yarn. I think once I get as far as I can with what I have, and I know that if I even attempt to do a next row, it's going to have to be frog kind of thing. I'm going to end it there. And then I will try maybe doing a bit of knitting with this yarn, just to use it up. I don't know what I would make with it, but very gorgeous yarn. I'm definitely going to get more of this when I get a chance. I want to try a couple. Like I said, there was a couple other colorways that were there that I really thought were beautiful as well. But these are kind of my favorite colors to work with. So that lives in this little bag here that my son gave me from work. It's a perfect little project bag. So how'd the rest of my weekend go? Well, like I said, I went yarn shopping. What did I get? I got two cakes of the Caron Blossom Cakes. The colorway I got was Bark. Got some like grayish color, some peach, some orangey, rusty colors. Very beautiful yarn. This yarn is a size 4, by the way, weight yarn. I got, like I said, my notes. It is 61% cotton, 39% acrylic. Now, for the top or the cardigan, I'm kind of whipping up of my own design, no pattern I'm following. The yarn I'm using for it is the Comfy Cotton Blend, which is a 3-weight yarn, and it's 50% cotton and 50% polyester. Well, I went on to Michael's because I had some PayPal money winnings saved up, and I found a yarn I really liked. It was kind of like a rusty orange color, coppery. I'd say maybe a bit of copper bronze look to it. And I thought, oh my goodness, that would look so beautiful as a cuff for the sleeves and the lapel, which I wasn't sure at the time how I was going to do the lapel of the cardigan I'm making. And not available at my store for pickup, delivery, none of that stuff in store. It was not there. And I thought, okay, let's check other stores because you got that option. And I checked all the stores that were within a certain radius to me. And I think there's like 3 or 4 Michaels available to me very close, and none of them had it. And I thought, okay, that colorway is totally, or that yarn, and that's totally out. I looked at other colors they had in that same yarn, and nothing really appealed to me. So like I said, I decided to go with this yarn. Yeah, totally different weight, different makeup of the yarn, obviously, because I know the Comfy Cotton Blend, I am pretty sure it has been discontinued, because I know Erin worked with this yarn that's in the latte colorway. I think she made a cardigan a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that, with the same yarn. And she mentioned back then that she thought it was discontinued. I was just happy to find it in a kit at Len's Mills, or sorry, not Len's Mills, Mary Maxim. And I even went on their site and looked. I went on Lion Brand's site to look. I looked at Joann's just to see, or Michael's just to see by any slight fluke they may have it. Nope, could not find this yarn anywhere. And I'm sorry if it's not on their actual website of the brand of the yarn. It's pretty much discontinued. So, like I said, that's when I decided, okay, I've got to figure out what I'm going to use for the finishing of it, because after I did the single crocheting around the sleeves, and I did a row of single crochets up the one side of the inside of the flap around the collar and down the other side, I literally have that much left. And there's no way I'm getting like a lapel and whatever sleeves I wanted out of this. Like, I would worry more about the lapel because I knew right well it wasn't wide enough for the 2 pieces I made. Now, yes, I could have gone probably one set wider of each one, but I wouldn't have even had enough then to make it the full length to match the back. So I'm glad I did go with the size I went with. I literally was playing yarn chicken. So that was it for that cotton. And like I said, I got this color. This is the cake I used. As you can see, it's pretty deflated. I winged it. Like I said, I wasn't following a pattern of any kind. Didn't quite know what I wanted to do. So start off with, I will show you how one of the sleeves came out. I got both of them done. So you will see it in its both sleeves. Now, I do not have ends sewn in yet. I am doing that in a moment. So there's the sleeve. And all I did was a round of double crochets. And then I did 1, 2, 3 rounds of front post, back post troubles. So there's that sleeve. And then sleeve number 2, same specs and everything on how I did it. So as you can see, 2 sleeves. Then I thought, okay, how am I going to do the lapel? Because originally I was thinking, start at the bottom, 1 panel, like the first row, which would be the double crochets, and go up the one side, across the back, and down the other. So I wanted this big lapel type idea. But then I realized, okay, well, the front part I want to lay flat, and the back part I'd want it to flip down like a collar, and the way I was going to do it would not work. So I decided, okay, well, let's do the one side of the lapel, back and forth, back and forth. Now, the lapel I did make wider than the sleeves, so there is the 1 row of the double crochets all the way up, and then I did 6 rows of front post and back post trebles, and then I did the second lapel on the other side. So here it is. Hoping the camera's picking it all up all the way to the bottom. I don't know if I should do something on the collar section. Like I just literally finished it with, at the moment, a single crochet all the way across. Advice would be really gratefully appreciated. Like I said, I've got ends to sew in, but I love how the lapel turned out. Now I know I showed you guys these beads that I picked out when I went birthday shopping, because I didn't find any buttons that I liked for price wise and size wise. These are not going to work now. I know it's not going to work for what I was thinking to make these into buttons. I was thinking maybe doing a strap of some kind. I don't know. Or just, I want to somehow close it somehow. I just don't know how. I don't know if maybe somewhere along the lapel, add some chains so I could tie it together. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. So she's still under construction. Like even if I had all the ends sewn in, I still wouldn't call it finished, because like I said, I want to find a way to close it up or tie it up or something. So she's still in work. Now, which lapel should I show? We'll go with this side. Now with the colors that are in the 4-weight yarn and the color that are in the cotton, I think, now in the cotton it's hard to tell because in the cotton it's more of a speckle, like a little bit of color here, a little bit there. Beige was the prominent color, where in this other yarn, the cotton blossom cakes, the darker colors were more prominent and it was more striped. But to be truthful, I think the colorways I picked matched really well. Like I said, the lapel is definitely dark, but I'm okay with it. I really am. Like I said, I was trying to kind of find this orangey color, which would have matched that orange there. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there's a bit of orange in there. It would have matched it really well, and I thought it would work too. But I don't know. That's what my cardigan looks like so far. And like I said, it fits me really nice. I can't wait to get it done so I can show you guys like pictures of me wearing it and stuff. That's what I've gotten so far. Like I said, ideas would be great to how to finish it up, to maybe do a ties or something. I don't think a strap like you'd wear on a robe or something would be a good idea. I'm thinking maybe somehow do some chains or something so that I can then tie them in a few spots. Maybe I don't know. Like I don't want to commit to something that not work and have to take it out. So if you've designed your own cardigan sweater, or you've seen, maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe go looking on my DIY site that I like to use and see if I can find a cardigan with lapel type trimming on it, and maybe kind of see what ideas I can steal from it for something for maybe a collar, or if I do a collar, like I said, I don't know. And then maybe something to kind of tie it off. So definitely have to look into that. And then the only other thing I did at the camper was I got the season 1 of Wednesday that is off of Netflix. Oh my goodness. My husband and it was 8 episodes, and we literally binge watched it mid Saturday afternoon into early Saturday evening, and binge watched the whole season 1 in one day. It was awesome. If you like the original Wednesday movies, I would highly recommend maybe watching this. Don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I might. I'm sorry if I do. The one that played the original Wednesday movie in the original two Wednesday movies were the one, Uncle Fester takes the house and they gotta become homeless and whatever, and Wednesday and Pucks, or I guess it was just Wednesday, he was going to buy Girl Guide cookies or something like that. Well, sorry, but the one that played that Wednesday and that one and the one where they go to the camp and the second one, she's in this new series. And my husband's almost certain the one that played the girl guide in the first movie and in the second movie when they were at the camp, she was kind of that blonde, snooty girl. My husband thinks that was played by the same person, but she played 2 different characters. He almost thinks she's in this series as well, but as somebody totally different, which I'm going to bio that character and see, because I'm not sure. But oh my goodness, like there was references definitely throughout the movie for the original Addams, the Addams Family movies. And there's definitely, we noticed it more in the second half, definitely a few, I don't know if you'd call them Easter eggs or not, like, when little things are hidden in throughout the movies, or, quote it and you kind of think, that sounds something like this, But there was definitely a few spots where we found like Easter eggs, as my husband and I would call them, referencing Harry Potter movies. I don't know if it was just, it was kind of weird, but we got the Harry Potter vibe a few times throughout this series. So if you're into the original Addams Family movies, or you're into the Harry Potter movies, you may really want to see this one. Like I said, I enjoyed it very much so. We ended up binge watching it all on Saturday. Could have easily left some of it till Sunday because we didn't come home till Sunday evening. But so much enjoyed the new Wednesday series. Like, I don't have Netflix at home here because I thought I pay enough for what cable I do get and my internet and my phone. I'm not adding more to my bill if I don't have to. And oh my goodness, this series, there was a few spots that was kind of, this is a little lame, a little boring, whatever. But then you realize it does tie into the show and it is important. But definitely a good series. That's all I did on the weekend. Like I said, I hope you guys had a great weekend. We're definitely finally into warmer weather. So I'm hoping within the next couple weeks to put my greenhouse together that I got for around my birthday. And then I gotta get some soil to start my seedlings, because something I don't have yet is some good seedling soil to help them germinate and get started. I don't want to start those until I can actually put them out in my greenhouse, because I don't have the space here inside my apartment. I would love to have them started already and be on like a heat mat with growing lamps and all that kind of stuff. I don't have those kind of things available to me, nor do I have the space for those things. Or believe me, they would be started by now had I not had this one wall full of different racks with DVDs. Because yes, my husband and I, we have a lot of movies. But that would be a perfect wall to have a growing rack on it with, the lights and the heating mats and all that kind of stuff, and, start all my seedlings. But I'd be afraid too that I would start too many inside and then them not fit in my greenhouse outside. And I am going to grow them here at home. I thought about, trying to get like a vegetable garden going at my camper, but the problem is hubby and I are only there on weekends, and it's not every weekend. So if all week we get no rain up there and it's like scorching hot, everything I plant up there would die on me. So we decided, no, my rose bush, yeah, it does okay. If we're not there for a week or so. It's been well established. It's been there, a few years, well, many years now, pre-pandemic. Good 4 or 5 years pre-pandemic, actually, my little rose bush. So it can survive without water for a bit if it needs to. The roots are deep enough in the ground. But new fruit, like vegetables, yeah, no, my birds would probably eat them. I mean, I wouldn't see any, reward from growing them up there. So, yeah, everything's going to be grown in my greenhouse on my balcony. And I'm also going to get 5-gallon buckets. My mom, I know a few different things like the peppers, the tomatoes, they'll both grow really well in the buckets. My radishes, my sunflowers, they grow good in the bucket as well. My radishes are going to grow inside the greenhouse. And I got chives that are going to grow in the greenhouse. And I do believe I have 1 or 2 other things I'm going to grow in the greenhouse. I have a few flowers, but they're going to go up to my trailer to be grown. And if they survive, they survive. If they don't, well, they don't. But I don't know, because I'm going to somehow make something that goes over top of, like if my hand is the railing, for example, I want to do a piece of board on the outside, and then a piece of board that goes across the top, and a piece of board that comes down the back side of my railing. And then on the back side piece, I've got wooden planter boxes, and I want to attach them to the back side of the piece. So like I said, here's the railing. This is the wood on the back side, the wood on the top, wood down the front. So it would sit over top of my railing. But on the back side, I want to attach those wooden planter boxes I have, so that if for some reason they come undone or fall off or whatever, they'll just fall on my balcony and not over my balcony to the ground, kind of thing, where they could hit another balcony or a person or whatever. So yeah, I want to make something like that. Maybe next weekend, if it's actually decent out, be a good weekend maybe to cut up some wood and from an old skid and see what my hubby and I can come up with. Have to do some measurements before we go up there, so I know what the width piece will be for across the top, so I know it will slide down. I don't want it snug because the new railings they put in, there's a section with glass just underneath that top piece. So down here it's a brown tinted colored glass. It's about 8 inches, 12 inches long, something like width-wise. And then the bottom part is solid. So I definitely want to make sure that when it goes over top of the railing, it's not going to scratch the glass, which it shouldn't, because the glass is like literally right in the middle. So there's a bit of railing on each side. I don't know, I got to look at it more. But anyways, I'm jammering on. You guys don't want to hear about my railing. But it'll be interesting once I get my garden started, what I come up with, and what's going to get planted how and where, and I'm excited. And like I said, I am going to be taking you guys along with that adventure because it's something new for me. But yeah, so that was my weekend. Ideas. If you guys have ideas on how to finish said cardigan, maybe something I could maybe do to, because originally I was going to get big wooden buttons that would kind of slip through the front post, back post somehow. I don't think that would look right on it either. So I'm thinking some kind of drawstring ties to tie it in a few spots. Maybe an option. I don't know, but I don't want it then, tied and then kind of like a gap and then tied again. or it looks like it's too tight on me kind of look, even though it's not, but maybe it may give that a look to it, and I don't want that look. So I don't know. I may leave it without anything on it. I don't know. I'm up in arms. It's definitely a cute cardigan. Like, I kept trying it on while working on it. Like, I did the one sleeve, and before I cut the yarn, I went and tried it on. I thought, is this well enough, or do I want to add more? And I thought, no, let's add another round. And I added another round, tried it again. Thought, okay, that's a good spot where it sits. This is how many rows I did. Let's go do the second sleeve. So I did, once I had both sleeves done, I tried it on again just to make sure I was satisfied, which I was. And then, like I said, the lapel. Okay, like once I had the first lapel done and confirmed that, yeah, okay, the width I went with was good. Like, I could have easily added more to it because, like, as you saw, I've got half a cake here, well, a little less than half, and then a full cake. So definitely got lots of this yarn, like more than I needed to in this colorway, but I didn't want to leave myself short. So, and oh my goodness, I've never used this type of yarn before. Or no, yeah. But like it's soft, like very, very soft. I've never used the Blossom Cakes. They are, oh my god, they're almost silky soft. Like, they would make a very, very warm, like maybe I don't know what style stitch I would use, but you got enough of it, make a nice blanket, like a throw or whatever, and you'd be warm in it, that's for sure. I know the pattern on it is kind of a funky, lacy looking scarf. Is that the same pattern on both? Yes, it is. So that's the pattern they suggest. So you can definitely do winter items with it, even though that's kind of very funky pattern. I don't know if that would be made with this yarn or not. It usually, when it shows pattern, it's made with the same yarn. It's got a 3 here, so I'm assuming it took 3 cakes. Okay. So I kept you guys long enough. Again, I don't know if I'll have a Wednesday video, depending, I guess, how far I get on the shawl. I'm thinking next time you guys will see the cardigan, it will be for a Friday finished object video. So we'll see how far I get on it in the next 2 days. Hopefully I get it done before Wednesday. And then I can get a little more of the shawl done. But really, it's just a corner to corner. So I may wait and show you that when it's finished as well. I know the pattern I'm using, there is a border on it. And I haven't looked that far ahead in the video to see how said border is to be done. I'm thinking of going into my middle bin here. I've got some finer white yarn and stuff with sparkles. I used some of the one little tank or skein I had to do that headband I wear every once in a while. But I know I've got some other ones. And I'm thinking the border, which I think just goes down the 2 sides of the triangle, not across the top. I'm thinking of doing it in white. It will look really sharp, I think. But again, another thing I haven't decided on. I've got to go in my stash and see what I actually have available. Because I know in the pattern, the border down the sides is the same as what the triangle part's made of. But like I said, this yarn is not fun to frog. It doesn't frog at all. A lot of crocheting anyways. Like, you can kind of, some yarns, if they kind of don't frog, you give them a little bit of that tug. You know how sometimes you gotta tug your seatbelt to unlock it. Some yarns you can do that with. This one, nope. Like I said, I'll let you know 100% for sure what you're going to make with it, and the exact counts and style of stitching, and you make sure you literally keep track of those stitching the whole way, so that you don't realize, oh shoot, I missed a stitch there, or I didn't put enough stitches in there. Can I just, leave it as is? But if I got to go back, that could be a problem. But like I said, very beautiful yarn. I'm still in love with it, even though it doesn't frog very well. I'm going to assume that with knitting, it won't frog as well because of the halo on it. But like I said, again, I've kept you guys in. Here I am yammering on some more. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.